Will Matt Schaub give owners another reason to burn his jersey?
Can a Niners receiver not named Bolden actually get open?
And will anyone on the East Coast stay awake for Chargers at Raiders?
God, I hope not. It's the War Room Sunday Night Football preview. Let's move on to Sunday Night Football, the first of two Sunday night options. Texans at Niners. Don't love this in terms of fantasy. When you got two great defenses going up against each other, I think the Texans are the superior defense.
Yeah,
the Niners are a little bit banged up.
Right.
And actually, they've got some holes in their secondary. You can throw against the Niners.
Did your Dante Hittner jersey arrive yet?
I wanted to change his name to Rudolph Hittner, just to make it just a little bit closer.
Just go full 8 off. Why not? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? And then when he calls out plays from the back of the say, like, who are you gonna throw it? Don't throw it here. Don't throw it here. I almost got kicked out of a bar for burning a Matt Schaub jersey last week. I don't even own one. I took it off somebody and I burned it. That was your favorite play of last week was an entire state's least favorite play.
Yeah.
It was just such a dumb play.
3 consecutive weeks of pick sixes.
That's hard to do.
I think he can break the streak this week. I think he'll break the streak. It's just it's so hard to throw pick sixes 4 consecutive weeks.
But if anyone can do it,
if anyone can do it, it could be against that hungry Niners defense. I don't really love. I could start Andre Johnson. I think Arian Foster's worth a start.
Of course, I mean he's a #1 draft pick. You convinced me to start him last week and not bench him. He actually got all of his numbers in the first half against Seattle, but he ended up having a decent week.
160 plus yards from the line of scrimmage and a touchdown. That's better than decent.
All right, I lost the game, so I can't say it doesn't really friggin' matter to me. Now I got to tell you who I have been thoroughly impressed by is Andre Johnson. He's had a concussion, bruised shin. He's always drawn a safety over top. He's getting banged up, and yet coming out every week. Last week, did he catch 10 passes?
Yeah.
I mean, and put up great numbers. In a PPR league, he was a monster last week without even getting to the 6th house.
Yeah.
Again, you can't really run on San Francisco, but you can throw on them.
Yeah.
I'd give a nod to Schaub, and I'm loving Hopkins not so much, but Andre Johnson, absolutely.
Yep, I agree. I also think Vernon Davis, hamstring's still not quite right. I'd look for a better option at tight end if you could.
That's gonna be good. That's the watchable Sunday Night Football game.
Ooh, the one that isn't, San Diego at Oakland. The 11:30 start time on the East Coast. Thank you, Oakland days. Oh man. You know what? We got some good fantasy options here. Even though if we compared these to like the Sunday night offerings to NBC shows, you have the community of Houston versus San Francisco, followed by the Whitney of Chargers at Raiders.
Are you sure this isn't the Sean? Like this is the Sean. Maybe it's the Sean Hayes show. Like Sean's back. No one's watching.
Phillip Rivers, we've said awful things about the Chargers. Phillip Rivers is the second best quarterback in fantasy terms this year, second only to Peyton Manning in completion percentage, quarterback rating, touchdowns, thrown 11 touchdowns in 4 games. Is incredible.
Hard not to even just call him the comeback player of the year so far. I would say at the quarter mark of the fantasy season, he's the comeback player of the year. He's the surprise of the season.
Yeah.
And kind of, outside of Peyton Manning, in the running for like the silver medal for offensive MVP. He's been amazing.
He's been incredible. Antonio Gates, 10 targets last week, 10 catches, 136 yards and a score.
Unbelievable.
He hasn't been healthy in like 5 years.
I know.
He's a complete resurgence. Vincent Brown has yet to have a really breakout game. And the Raiders could be the solution to that.
Just what he ordered. Now what do you think about this side of the tracks?
I love starting Terrell Pryor. The Chargers are 30th in the NFL in yards allowed, and so I like Terrell Pryor. Rashad Jennings had 8 catches for 71 yards out of the backfield last week. I think he's a good start. Oh my gosh, it's week 5 and Darren McFadden's injured.
Stop it.
No.
Stop the presses.
How did that happen?
Yeah, I'm completely surprised.
Yeah.
And get this, hamstring.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
The only way I could be more surprised is if I found out that his foot was also injured.
Could be.
Yeah.
You never know.
And I like Denarius Moore as a start. Why not?
And here's another surprise. Marcel Reese's backup, also injured.
Oh.
Yeah, so which paves the way for Rashad Jennings to get feature back work. And you don't really hear feature back work too often unless somebody's probably going to touch the ball at least 15 or 20 times. I don't want to stay up late enough to root him in at 2:30 and be crying for points well past midnight. But at the same time, big check plus next to him.